got something for you. We got something for you, you. It's something Megapod shiny. It's wrapped in Megapod plastic. Put on your Megapod jammy. It's time for Megapod-tastic. 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 Megapod-tastic.
Good morning. Welcome back to Crazy Joe's Concession Stand. I'm Crazy Joe. Excuse me as I adjust the camera here. And I don't think anybody's going to show up because, let's face it, nobody ever does show up. I do this stuff all the time. Nobody ever shows up. But I'm sending the link out in case anyone wants to join us and talk about this. But I'm getting increasingly frustrated over things I'm seeing online that really don't make any sense to me. You've seen the thumbnail on this video. Okay, I'm sorry. I just sent some links out. If you see the thumbnail for this video, I want to talk about James Gunn and the recent reveals that we've had, for lack of a better word, for his upcoming DCU. Most notably that some people, such as John Cena and Viola Davis and Zolo, I forget how you pronounce his name, Blue Beetle, they will be coming back. They will be carrying on into the new DCU. And for some really inexplicable reason, this is confusing to people. And I don't for the life of me understand why. Because we've done this before. And I've not heard of anyone being confused up until now. It almost makes me wonder if people are being willfully confused. I don't know that they are, but I gotta wonder, is it that people aren't really confused, but they want to be confused? They're looking for an excuse to complain. So they're going to, it's confusing, when in fact, it's not confusing. I see Kaylee's here. Good to see you, Kaylee. I see Zeke. Good to see you. Zeke says everything makes sense about James Gunn's plan. Yes, everything makes perfect sense. Kingdom of Nerds says it's not confusing at all. And Kingdom of Nerds, our own good friend Brucifer, is our comic expert. And I am going to be talking a little bit about comics. So it's a shame he can't be here because he is our resident comic book expert. Thomas Suppinger says it's just Snyder fans being butthurt, to be honest. You may be right. But here is the issue. There was a comic that came out several years ago called Flashpoint. And if you bear with me just a moment, I will bring up the cover. I don't prepare in advance. It's something I got to work on. I got to prepare for these. I do these live streams like at the drop of a hat. I'm not really planning to do a live stream, and then just suddenly I'm like, you know what? I got something to say. It's usually I saw something I saw online got me thinking, and I'm like, I need to talk about that. And then suddenly I'm live. But there was no prep work ever put into it. And I got to change that. All right. So there was a comic book that came out roughly around 2005. At least that's when I think it came out. And it's called Flashpoint. And to anyone who is unfamiliar, here is the cover. That's Flashpoint. Flashpoint number 1. It was a mini series, and in it, Flash goes back in time and he changes the timeline. He causes a change in the timeline, and when he comes back, the timeline is not the same as when he left. So this comic book came out over a decade ago, and it was fairly well received. People really enjoyed it. And I never heard anyone say they were confused by it. I mean, it seems pretty simple. Time travel, you went back in time, changed something in the past, and it causes things in the future. to be different. It's a pretty simple concept. And this comic book, Flashpoint, was very well received at the time. The After Effect, the new 52. That was not as well received, but how we got there didn't seem to confuse people. Well, the Flashpoint story became so iconic they made an animated movie about it. Again, I heard people like the animated movie. I never heard people say they were confused by it. So Flashpoint, the comic book, did not confuse people. It led to an animated movie that didn't seem to confuse people, which led to a storyline on the Flash TV show. They did it on the Flash TV series as well. And again, the Flashpoint story on the TV series causing changes in the timeline doesn't seem to confuse people. So the DCEU has once again used the Flashpoint storyline that we've seen already in comics, animation, and television. And they've used that storyline again to reboot the DC universe. Again, the Flash went back. He changed something in the past, and it caused ripples that changed the timeline. We've seen it before. We're seeing it again. But now, for the first time ever, it's confusing. Why was it not confusing in the comics? Why was it not confusing in animation? Why was it not confusing on TV? But now we can't wrap our head around this. It's really downright baffling. The Flash is not also, it's not, this isn't contained to the Flash 2. There was a very popular TV show on Sci-Fi Channel for a number of years. Sadly gone, but I have the Blu-rays here. It's a TV show called Eureka. If you never watched Eureka, I believe it's streaming on Peacock. You can get the Blu-rays. It's a wonderful series, wonderful little quirky sci-fi series. And it ran several seasons on Sci-Fi Channel. Led to a spin-off called Warehouse 13. It was a really good show. But they did an episode around the third season called Founders Day, where several of the characters from Eureka went back in time to the 1940s and needed to find a way back to the present. And what was interesting is this was around season 3 of the series. They'd already done about 2 seasons of the show. I think this was like the 3rd season premiere, or maybe the 2nd season finale, Founders Day. Actually, I can just find it. Let's see. They'll tell me right on the disc. Founders Day was either season 3 or season 4. I just heard a pop in my ear, like someone popped in. But on the other channel, we're on the concession stand. The background. Wait a minute, I gotta change the background. Hang on a second. This reverted. This shouldn't have done that. There we go. Yeah, we're on the other channel. All right, hang on. Sorry, I got this streaming on 2 channels. Max popped in on the wrong channel, and I heard him. I heard him pop in my ear. He was on the wrong channel. So let's see. Founders Day. Where is Founders Day? Was that season 2 or season 3 of Eureka? But the point is, the episode Founders Day changed the series. It changed the season 4. It was the 4th season premiere. Founders Day changed the series forever, because when these characters went back to the future and returned to the present day of Eureka, everything was different. Characters had different roles. The one character was now the CEO of the company. There was a character who had an autistic son, and when she arrived back to the future, he wasn't autistic anymore. He now was not autistic. There were characters who were not married. They came back from the past. Suddenly, they were married. And all of their lives changed because of what happened in the episode Founders Day. And these changes were not undone, because to undo those changes would have... Max is still sitting backstage at the other... Max, come on over to the other stream. Yeah, we're on StreamYard, but we're on the stream on the concession stand channel. Where this is just to tell people to go over there. Yeah, well, but on the other channel, we're saying that. We're not saying that here. All right, hang on. I'll get you a link. You know, they're over on the other channel. This channel's just telling people to go there. All right. All right. Sorry, Max is just hanging out over on the other stream, which is just a place card that says I'm currently streaming on my second channel. Come over to Crazy Joe's concession stand. Max is sitting backstage at the other stream. All right, hang on. I got to get him the link. This will just take a second. But the point I'm trying to make here is the idea of time travel making permanent alterations to the timeline is not a new concept, and it's something that it's kind of an old idea. So the idea that Flash would alter the timeline and those changes would be absolutely I'm sorry, Max threw me off. The whole Max backstage thing has destroyed my train of thought. Anyway, we'll get back to that in a second. Figure Drawing says his Peacemaker and the whole cast going to be in Gunn's universe. Yeah, I would assume so. CGH says the Flash movie should be canon. Well, the Flash movie is canon. The Flash movie is what caused everything. The new timeline is a result of this. And James Gunn said that himself. He said that back months ago when he was explaining what he was going to do. He said Flash alters the timeline. And everything going forward has changed because of that. Figure Drawing says, is Margot Robbie going to be mainline Harley in Gunn's universe? I would assume so. I mean, no official announcement's been made yet, but I would definitely assume so. Jacob has never heard of Eureka. Jacob, I can't recommend Eureka enough. It's a wonderful series. Go check it out. It's streaming on Peacock, I believe, and it's just a wonderful, quirky, little, fun sci-fi series. We've got RJ here. RJ says, is it okay for me in the chat and say hi? Yeah, sure. If not, I'll go my merry way, but I agree with your position on this. I don't think it's confusing. People are overthinking this. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. And RJ is a Eureka fan as well. So there you go. J.K. Simmons was in No Way Home, but everyone understands. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why this is confusing. And that's why I got to wonder if people are being willfully confused. Kingdom of Nerds says Max is lost in the Speed Force. Yes, he is. I sent him the link. Let's see. Did he? Oh, great. I don't have my password. I can't get in. Oh, boy. Max. What are we going to do? I mean, you got him before. You got into the other one. Why can't you get into this one? I mean, it's right on StreamYard. You just. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. He'll get here eventually. Let me see. He does look like he's half awake. I mean, I just saw him. He does look like he's half awake. I'm going to take a screenshot and send it to him. Here we go. Oh, come on. I'm sorry. This is it's always mass hysteria when I go live. Always mass hysteria. And people wonder why I say John Campea is the best. He doesn't have these kind of technical issues, does he? It's always, I'm not the professional he is. Let's see. Third stream down. I'm sending him a graphic so he can find us. All right. Jacob says, did I see the rumor a project adapting Tom King's Strange Adventures is in early development at the DCU? I'll be honest with you, I'm not familiar with Tom King's Strange Adventures. I haven't I don't think I've read that comic. And yeah, I'm not too familiar with that one. Flash basically just revealed and established there's a multiverse and there's various timelines. After Aquaman 2, we're going into the new timeline and universe. This is true. And I'll tell you the truth. James Gunn, he made a quote the other day that is honestly seemingly being misread, where he said nothing is canon before Superman. But he went on to say there will be similarities to the various versions we've seen in the past. What that basically means, and he's trying to simplify it so people aren't getting stuck in the weeds, but what he's saying there is some of what came before can be canon. Did he just pop up in the wrong stream again? He did it again. He's over. You're killing me, man. You're killing me. But don't you see on the on the main menu where it says streams and recordings that there's the third one down? The third one down on the menu. All right. Oh my Lord. This is a fiasco. Oh, and look, my background changed. I didn't want that. Here he is.
This the right one?
This is the right one, and somehow the background changed now. There we go.
Okay. See, it's Momo. You're on live stream.
I don't think I've ever seen your cat before. I'm used to seeing the dog.
Is this reaction to my video or Grace's video or the stream last night?
Well, I don't watch Grace.
I made a video.
Grace is a to people who are confused. I got two streams going. Let me.
I don't even have a shirt. Look at that.
Oh my Lord! Oh, we're getting sexy here. Let me explain what's going on here to people who don't understand. I got more subscribers on my other channel. The Crazy Joe's Adventures channel has a lot more subscribers than this channel. So when I go live on this channel, I also go live on that channel. But all it is a graphic that says we're live on my other channel. Come on over. So people know to come over here because more people will see it there than here. So what happened is Max came in and clicked on the first stream, which is the blank stream saying, go over there. Mass hysteria.
I don't have my glasses on.
So let's says James Gunn's explanation doesn't seem confusing to me. It's not confusing. And that's the thing. It's so weird. It's like, why
you're not confused, but other people are.
Yeah, are they though?
Yeah.
My question is, are people really confused or are they being willfully confused?
I think there are some that are wanting to go with a narrative just because they have the bias of not liking James Gunn, but there's a lot of other people are just generally confused. And James Gunn saying, if it feels like homework, screw it, is a dumb thing to tell customers.
That's a good answer.
No,
that's a good answer.
Screw it. No, never tell customers to screw it.
Well, no, he's right. Yeah, it shouldn't feel like homework to go to the movies.
Well, it does for people, though. Maybe he's not realizing that it is, even with him. some things have changed. Some things
He's
have not
simplifying
changed.
things.
Some yet to be decided. Some
He's
things will.
He's trying to simplify things for people.
It's not. He's not. It's not simplifying it though. There. I mean,
How's it
I looked
not
at Grace
simplified?
audience that are not Snyder Bros. They're not Snyder Bros. And they had so many questions. They were generally confused. The majority of them. I watched the live
Yeah, well,
stream.
obviously they're confused. They watch Grace.
RJ, I can't, just to give you a shout out to RJ, since he's in the chat. I can't get through a Grace live stream without her mentioning you, and I'm jealous. No, I'm just kidding. He always says a RJ question on every live stream. But yes, if he was RJ, tell Joe the truth. A lot of people there were confused what was going on.
Confused about what?
About who's staying, who's not, the characters.
Well, first of all, who's staying and who's not is irrelevant.
It's not
right
irrelevant.
now. Like people seem to want a list. People seem to want like James Gunn to release a list and go, here's everyone who's staying. Why would he do that? Like, what would the point of that being? For one thing, some of these people may not have contracts yet. There's been a writer's strike, an actor's strike. Like everyone's like, is Gal Gadot staying? Is Gal Gadot staying?
It's a good thing. It's a good thing because people want to care about the universe, and they want to know what's happening with their favorite characters.
Okay, but how about we get those announcements when those announcements are ready to be made?
Okay, well,
like for example, like Gal Gadot, all evidence is that she's coming back. Every little breadcrumb.
That's
not all the evidence. Well, what evidence is there that she's not coming back? James Gunn said
James Gunn goes to clarify other things. He goes to even say, like, what was that character from Peacemaker that's coming back? Vigilante. But when Gal Gadot was out there online saying, I'm going to work with, he was completely silent.
Yeah, of course he was. There's an actor strike going on. Well, he probably doesn't have a contract with her, but guess what? The next project after Superman is going to be Waller. So he probably has a contract already with in fact, season 2 of Peacemaker was announced a while ago. These people are under contract. He could say John Cena's coming back. He could say Viola Davis is coming back because he's got them under contract. But if he doesn't have Gal Gadot under a contract yet, they may be planning to negotiate after the SAG strikes. But why would he make an announcement that hasn't happened yet? I mean, they did that already with Henry Cavill. It didn't work out too well for them.
I don't know. What is this going to be a new show? Debates from bed with Crazy Joe.
Maybe.
I think I actually, I've talked to people out in the streets now. I'm looking all over the place to get difference of opinions. I think people are confused.
You're breaking up a little. You're breaking up. Did we lose you? I don't know. I can't hear Max anymore. RJ says, didn't a WB rep in an interview in the trade say Gal was mistaken? Not exactly. What was stated was that Wonder Woman 3 was not currently in development, which is not news. We knew Wonder Woman 3 wasn't currently in development, but that doesn't mean, in fact, that doesn't even contradict what Gal Gadot said. Gal Gadot said that James Gunn said, we're going to develop Wonder Woman 3 together. So, I mean, that was a future tense, we're going to. So the fact that it's not yet in development really doesn't mean anything. All we really know is that Wonder Woman 3 isn't happening yet. Figure drawing, Gadot is not yet. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Every single indication, every single breadcrumb shows that she's coming back. They've hinted at it profusely. Max is back again. He's got a bad connection. Anyway. Blue Jay says, even though Blue Beetle's technically a DCU movie, there's no
still
mention.
Can't hear. Oh well. I don't know what's going on. I can't hear nothing.
This stream's a disaster.
What happened to my phone?
I don't know. Oh boy. Yeah, this is turned into a disaster. But yeah, Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa are definitely going to be back as Wonder Woman and Aquaman. It's just a matter of time before it gets announced, and I don't expect you hear an announcement until after the strike. Quite frankly, I don't think until after the strike we're gonna hear a word. But Perp approves of this stream. Get in here, Perp. Get in here. I need somebody who can actually hear me. Max can't even hear me. Can you hear me, Max? I can hear you again. Oh, this is one wacky stream.
I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna go because I can't hear nothing anyway. Have a good stream. People are confused. I'm even confused of what's happening on the stream.
Yeah, well, I'm confused about what's happening on this stream too.
Have a good stream, Joe.
That's an accurate statement right there.
I can't hear it. I don't know what happened. All I can't hear.
It doesn't even say Sleepy Max. It says Skeepy Max. Skeepy Max. Oh boy. Yeah, Max is shirtless. Perp is joining us. Perp. I'm gonna take Skeepy Max out of the stream here because that is just getting ridiculous. Figure drawing, she's coming back. Mark my words, she's coming back. Every single indication has been that she's coming back. She said it. James Gunn has said it. Everyone has come out and indicated that she's going to be back. Starting with her initial tweet saying she looks forward to being a part of the next chapter after Wonder Woman 3 had been canceled. Going forward to James Gunn saying that he was in negotiations with her several months ago. Going to her saying she's had talks with James Gunn and he assured her they're going to work on it together. Every single indication has been that she's coming back. We've seen nothing to the contrary yet. And the only way I see that she does not come back is if they have some kind of contract negotiation gone wrong once the strikes are over. But right now, the good bet is on you're going to see her. And Matt Jarbo actually even brought up a fantastic point on one of his streams not long ago. Matt Jarbo pointed out that he also believes she's coming back because she was in Shazam 2 and she was in The Flash, and we know certain cameos have been cut out of these movies so as not to give fans the false expectation that these characters are going to continue. Yet all along, Gal Gadot was safe. They never took her out of these movies. So it seems like if you're placing bets in Vegas, the good money is on she's coming back. So you can pretty much rest assured that you'll be seeing Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman again. I bet there's like some slight change, like the little point on her tiara points up now instead of down. Something to indicate that the timeline has changed and that not everything is canon. Resident Justice says Jason Momoa will be back, but as Lobo, not Aquaman. Don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I think he's going to be Aquaman because we had comments that he wants to do an Aquaman trilogy. He himself has come out and said, I'm Aquaman. There's no other Aquaman. He's something like that. I'm paraphrasing. I have heard the rumors about Lobo, but I don't believe it. Maybe he can play both. Anyone who's a Star Trek fan knows that you can have the same actor play more than one role in a franchise. Jeffrey Combs played two different characters in a single episode of Deep Space Nine once. He was Brunt of the FCA, and he was Wayoon in a single episode. So you can do that. It is something that's been done before. It's not without precedent. And obviously, as Lobo, he would be under heavy makeup. So that's something that could happen. But I definitely think he's going to be sticking around as Aquaman, especially because Aquaman made $1 billion. Aquaman made $1 billion. Only DC movie to do that. Oh, the highest grossing DC EU movie was Aquaman. And James Gunn's original comment of we're going to keep what works and get rid of what doesn't work. Momoa's Aquaman clearly worked. That was clearly something that worked. So I think he's a lock. We're definitely going to see. But there's been more indications about Gal Gadot returning. But the point is, this isn't confusing. This isn't confusing because when you have a timeline change, some things will change, some things will stay the same. This is a sci-fi staple going back forever. And again, we've seen it on the Flash TV show. We've seen it in the Flash comics. We've seen it in animation. But for some reason, now that they're doing it in the movies, people are strangely confused by it. And I don't get what is confusing. No, I'm proving that there shouldn't be confusion and that people are being ridiculous. That's what this stream is proving. I mean, here's the proof. Here's the proof. Here's the proof. And there's the animated movie. No one was confused before. People are suddenly confused. So are they really? Are they really, or do they actually get it and they just want to complain? I think that's what we got going here. I really do. I think that's what we got going here. Because if this wasn't confusing and the comic wasn't confusing and the animated movie wasn't confusing, why is it confusing now? Why is a timeline change? Hell, people tuned in every week to Eureka and suddenly the whole series changed in season 4. Character relationships, who they were, what their positions in the town was, all changed because of a timeline change. This is a sci-fi trope. This is a comic book trope. This is something we've seen 1 million times before. And now, suddenly, it's confusing. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't doubt like some old granny somewhere is confused, sitting there going, I thought that Cavill kid was Superman, but I really don't think that. Oh my lord, Little Movie Perp is now in the wrong stream. Oh my god, the background keeps changing. The background keeps. This is never. What we've proven here is that people can't find the right stream. That's what we've proven here, that people can't find the right stream. Hang on a second. You're in the wrong stream. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. The stream is confusing. That's for sure. That's for sure. But James Gunn's universe is not confusing. Crazy Joe, you say Momoa's coming back as Aquaman, and RJ, who is super informed, says he'll be Lobo. All the indications are in the Aquaman field. Lisa's here. Hi, Joe. My brother's surprise 50th. Hope you're having a lovely day. If you want entertainment, go back and watch this stream from the beginning, because this stream is just going nuts over here. Everyone's popping up in the wrong places. Oh my lord. At this point, I'm ready to call it quits, but I know Perp's on his way in. Or is he? I don't know. He was on the. It'll be fun to go back and watch the stream on the Crazy Joe Adventures channel and see the insanity going on. So anyway, while we wait for Perp, let's get off topic for a second here and talk about Dragon Con. I tried to book my hotel at Dragon Con this morning, and we had another colossal failure from our friends at the Hotel Indigo, Atlanta downtown. They were supposed to send a link only to returning customers. They call it legacy status. As a returning customer to the Hotel Indigo, I got the link. But what they didn't realize was, and we tried to warn them, the link to sign up for their email had leaked to a Dragon Con Facebook page months ago, and people were signing up who were not returning customers. We kept telling them, the system's been compromised. Us returning customers are going to have trouble getting a room now because everyone got on that list, including people who are not returning customers. And the Hotel Indigo did not want to hear it. And sure enough, I was not able to get a room this morning, which is unfortunate. So the adventure continues in trying to secure a room for Dragon Con. So thank you, Hotel Indigo. Appreciate it. That got my day off on a rousing start. Is Perp still coming? I don't know. Joe, how much do you think Superman Legacy needs to be considered a success? I think 600 million would make the studio happy. Yeah, I mean, like I keep saying, I think we're out of the $1 billion era. I think we can get back there. I think we can get back to the $1 billion era. But I do believe that the streaming services have temporarily lowered the bar because of the early release dates. There's less of an urgency to go to the theater. People just know we can sit back and wait, and this thing will be on Max before long. Now, the time is increasing, which is smart for the studio. They have increased the time, but look at Barbie. Barbie's not on Max yet. Blue Beetle, it's on VOD, but it's not on Max yet. They're learning their lessons, and it's going to take a little while for the audience to figure it out because, they're used to it being there so quick. So I do think we're going to have a lower threshold from the studios. But I do think we can get back to these movies making $1 billion in time. But it's not going to happen overnight. So yeah, 600 million would be good. I mean, look at the Batman. Another thing is people keep saying, "Oh, it's going to bomb. It's going to bomb because people don't trust DC anymore." Well, tell that to Batman. Batman did fine. I think Superman's going to do fine, and I know it's going to be good because it's James Gunn. The guy's never let me down in the past. Maybe his Scooby-Doo movies. I didn't really like them too much. But other than Scooby-Doo, the guy's never let me down in the past. And I think that we're going to... I think the studio will be very happy with Superman, and I think it'll do a lot in fixing DC's reputation. Which is a weird thing, too. It's really weird because the past year, we've had 3 DC movies in the past year, and every one of them has been fantastic. Shazam 2, The Flash, Blue Beetle, they were all great. And the people just didn't go see them. So I don't know why that is, but RJ says the Scooby-Doo movies are great, though. To be fair, I don't like that genre of movie. I don't like we're going to bring back an old cartoon from the past, and there's going to be a CGI creation in there. Like, I didn't like Yogi Bear either, or the Smurfs, or the Chipmunks. That style of movie just doesn't interest me. So I don't know if Perp is still coming or not at this point. Perp, are you still coming? I'm waiting for you. Otherwise, I may just end the stream because I think I made my point. But I am interested in hearing what Perp has to say. Jake Casale wants to know how many more trash movies does he like? Well, not that Spider-Man shit, that's for sure. CJH says the Batman should be the start of the DCU. I kind of agree. I hate the Batman. I really hated that movie. I didn't like it at all. But yeah, it would make sense. It would make a lot of sense to just take something that works and start kind of tying that in. But man, I really didn't like that movie. It was too grounded. But you know what? If you make it part of the DCU, it would fix that issue for me. It would be a little less grounded if he's in a world where Superman exists. And that's the problem. Because a realistic Batman just doesn't appeal to me. Like, Batman should be a fantasy. Like a gothic fantasy. Yeah. More realistic than Superman because he is a real guy. Like he's not a superpowered individual. So on a sliding scale of realism, he should be more realistic than Superman. But more realistic isn't absolute realism. So I really don't care for these grounded takes on Batman. I didn't like the Nolan movies that much. I mean, they were good for what they were. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're bad movies. They were good for what they were, but they aren't what I want from Batman. I think the Batman animated series is probably the best Batman we've had so far. Antonio says Matt Reeves doesn't want to be in a connected universe. Then he shouldn't be making the movies. I mean, but that's the bottom line. The bottom line is these guys, if they're not going to be team players, they shouldn't be on the team. Christopher Nolan held DC back tremendously because we had successful Batman movies under him, and they could have started to build the DCU using Christian Bale's Dark Knight, but Nolan couldn't allow that. No, his movies had to be their own thing. It's like, you know what? If you want to play in the sandbox, you gotta share your toys. I kind of feel like, and these guys, if they want to be part of the team, they got to be team players. So this was The Rock's problem. The Rock wasn't willing to be a team player either. So there you go. All right, let's see. Where are we? Jacob says, Joe, thought on rumor Kurt Russell has been cast as Jor-El in Superman Legacy. I haven't heard that. First I'm hearing that rumor. I'm okay with it. I'm definitely okay with it. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Sure. RJ says Matt Reeves already had an established contract before Gunn came in. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little confusing because they are trying to establish a new DC universe, and I think the timing on Batman 2 is unfortunate. It's a shame they couldn't get Batman 2 out sooner because I do think the timing is confusing. Anthony's here. Welcome, Anthony.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
Welcome to the party. I've been waiting for Perp. He told me he was on his way, and
Well, that's tough.
I don't know where he is.
I'm not talking about James Gunn universe.
Yeah, I'm talking about the fact that people are saying it's confusing.
I'm not.
I don't understand why when it's worked on the television show, it's worked in the Flashpoint comics, but suddenly we do it in a movie and everyone's like confused. Why?
I'm not confused. I get what he's trying to say. Is like there's nothing like we haven't seen nothing of this universe yet to be confused about. I mean, if you're confused about his actors coming back, then sure, I get that. I get that's what people mean, but I mean, those people was already in contracts. He got contracts with those people,
right?
He signed. So yeah,
I mean,
he's not. He's probably good. He's probably like he say in a post like he hasn't talked to his writers in a while because of the strike, and then there's the actor strike going on, so he cannot tell who's coming back yet. And he probably might confirm in the next week or so. So we'll see. So I'm not confused about anything of his universe. I'm just waiting to see if Superman Legacy will be good or not. I said, which is start production next year, anyways. Once the strike is over.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. Eloquent says I'm confused about why so many people are confused. I beg the question, and I wouldn't say this is true for everybody, but I got to wonder if people are being confused on purpose because they're looking for a reason to hate it. Because if we weren't confused when they did this And I bet anything they will address this on screen too. Like
Oh,
because we've got Waller
yeah.
coming up, the Waller series. I bet you anything they make a throwaway line in Waller about they have evidence that the Flash altered the timeline and things are different now. Like
So the
make a joke out of it.
like the we know people's like the Flash is always the key to the multiverse. He always go back in time and reset the timeline or reboot it. So like it's the Flash. Like Flash is the key. James Gunn hasn't confirmed the Flash will be a character yet in the universe. I mean he will because he's a part of the Justice League. He has to be. He's a part of the Justice League. The Flash has to be there. Same as Aquaman and then Wonder Woman. So yeah. So it's like Flashpoint. You they reset the universe and stuff. Some some actors may be the same, some may not.
Yeah.
So it's simple.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, we've got a strike on. I think these things because we've seen these guys get burned before,
Hmm.
announcing things too soon. It happened with Star Trek. They announced they were doing another Kelvin universe movie, and they gave a release date. And the cast came out and said, "We're not under contract for
Oh
that."
yeah, the AJ. Yeah, I remember. It's like, yeah, Zoe Saldana and Chris Pratt came out. I was like, whoa, what are you talking about? We do not know anything. I don't know where
Exactly.
you got this. They haven't got us the script for that. I don't know what you're saying. So them announced that way too early. I was like, okay, relax. Pump the brake. Eventually that movie will be made. That's what they say on Paramount. We'll see.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
just you don't want to announce a thing before all the contracts are signed, and people seem to want all the answers right up front. They're saying, "Who's coming back? Who's going to be part of your universe?" Well, if he hasn't had those conversations with the actors yet, and he hasn't
Mhm.
got them signed to deals, then it would be absolutely foolish to come out and say, "Oh, Gal Gadot's definitely coming back," if she hasn't signed for whatever deal
No,
he
she
wants to
hasn't.
sign her to.
Like the only prequel Wonder Woman thing that we have that was literally in the video from a couple months ago is the Wonder Woman prequel. That's gonna be a Game of Thrones style show, set back way before Wonder Woman was even born. Diana, I think the show's about her mother or something like that. So like just be like pumped. We gonna get Wonder Woman's new eventually, and plus on Twitter, James gonna say we might get a Wonder Woman animated TV show because we never got one before.
Yeah.
So that would be great if we do. And plus, we're gonna see like what James Gunn says that we're gonna see these animated characters that show up in this animated show that he got planned into live action. So and he's taking like the Star Wars approach. That's what I see that he's taking.
Eloquent says, haven't seen the Flash movie yet because it was pulled from theaters before I had a day off.
Oh, that's tough.
Um, who's the theatrical Flash moving forward? Miller, Gustin, or someone new? Well, I'm sure it'll be someone new,
It's,
but
I mean,
I'm convinced it's going to be the Miller version of Flash because he changed the timeline. So I think he's going to come
yeah.
through as the guy. But I think it's a Mark Ruffalo Hulk situation. I think you're going to see the Ezra Miller version of Flash played by a new actor.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if Ezra will come back or get a new actor. I would just wait and see. But I wouldn't be mad if he does come back. And I think he was great in the Flash movie.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
he did great performance with his mother and stuff like that. So so
So I think I've said just about everything I have to say about this. I don't know. I was actually getting ready to end the stream, but I was waiting on Perp because he said he was coming in, but then he didn't. So we may be wrapping up soon, but yeah, the let's see. Figure drawing says I'm confused why you didn't like the Batman, but you liked Flash and Shazam too. Yeah, Flash and Shazam 2 were just better movies.
I mean, I disagree, but I mean, people could hate or like
Yeah,
or anything. There's nothing wrong with that. So
yeah.
I like the Batman. I can't wait to see who he's gonna get for Batman 2 after the actors strike is over with Matt Reeves and stuff. I think I saw RJ comment about Matt Reeves. Like Matt Reeves does not want to be a part of a shared universe. That's literally his contract. He does not want to be a part of any
Yeah.
shared universe. So that's why James Gunn went and talked to him first. It's like, we understand you. You could make all the Batman projects you want for HBO. I still hate that name. They changed it. That's the one thing I hate about WB. Why change HBO to Max? Why? That is dumb. I just hate that. HBO has been an iconic name for the last 30 years or so, or something like
Yeah.
that. So like changing it just gonna confuse people more. So it's just not. So yeah, that's what he's want James. James gonna talk to him. Okay, you can make your separate projects from. By ourselves, we're gonna get our own Batman in the DCU with Dick Grayson, Jason, Tim Drake, any Robin. So yeah, I can't wait to see that. Plus, Andy Machete's doing the new Batman movie. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so
I,
for
I'm
HBO,
I'm
so yeah.
I'm really excited about that. It's I didn't really like it chapter 2, but other than it chapter 2, I'm a big fan of and honestly, I only think the only issue I had with it chapter 2 was bringing the kids back because
Oh,
they
the
used
kids,
CGI to
yeah.
make them look
The
young and
CG
it
younger, yep.
didn't
They should
work.
have just got like another kids, like you could have cast like come on. It's just But,
Yeah.
but he's making a TV show for HBO, I mean for Max. So is a I think it's a prequel of it. Yeah.
I
So
got confused because there's a show on Netflix called like the Dairy Girls or something.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I thought that was it. I'm like, oh wow, that prequel, that it prequel's up on Netflix, and it
No,
wasn't.
it's not a yes. It started filming a long time ago. Probably stopped filming because of the strike.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that'll probably come out next on HBO and stuff. Same as the Penguin. Hopefully, once the strike is over, they could finish the show for the actors. Matt Reeves. I mean, Antonio, that would be a cool idea for Matt Reeves to direct a Justice League movie, but that will never happen. It will never happen. He's just focusing on his universe, and after he
Yeah.
does 3 Batman movies and couple spin-offs for his universe, he's done. I
I
think.
interviewed him once. He was a very nice guy. It was when he did
Oh,
Let Me In.
I love
Yeah.
his Planet of the Apes movies. I love his Planet. He did an amazing job with that, and I can't wait for the next Planet of the Apes movie that's coming out next year.
Did you
So,
see Let Me In, his vampire movie?
oh, I've not seen that one.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's a remake of a Swedish film called Let the Right One In, and they're both good. The original and Matt Reeves' version are both just amazing movies.
I gotta check it out. I gotta check it out. I gotta say, I gotta see a lot of Matt Reeves movies. I'm not going to pass and see. No, Joe does not hate Matt Reeves. He likes his movies.
Yeah, no, I'm a fan of Matt Reeves. I've interviewed Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
I think I've seen 2 Matt Reeves movies I didn't care for. The Pallbearer with with the Friends guy. What's his name? Ross. I can't think of his David Schwimmer, and the Batman. Those are like the only 2 movies he ever did that I didn't care for. Liked Cloverfield. I liked his
Cloverfield,
Planet of the
yeah.
Apes. Yeah.
I know they're talking about making another Cloverfield movie eventually, so I would not be surprised if that happened.
Yeah. I gotta rewatch 10 Cloverfield Lane. That movie. I love that movie so much. I haven't seen it in forever.
So
It's not enough hours in the day, man. I have all these movies I want to rewatch, and there's new movies I
a
haven't
lot of
seen.
movies rewatch, yeah.
I've kind of gotten to the point where I've told myself I gotta give up on certain TV shows because like I was watching Twisted Metal and it's fine. I don't
I love
dislike
Twisted
it.
Metal. I think that's a great adaptation of the games. I enjoy it. Okay, I hope
Yeah.
hopefully Peacock announced season 2 because that show was great. It did well for their streaming service.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll do it because I've heard nothing but love for it. And I watched 5 episodes and I didn't dislike it. Like I thought it was good, but I'm just like I wasn't enjoying it as much as other things, and I'm
For
like,
sure.
I gotta manage my time better. I'm probably gonna have to stop watching this just because I don't have enough hours in the day.
I just watch certain TV shows that I like and see from trailers. Like if I like it, I like this. I'm gonna watch it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what they did with the Twisted Metal. It's like the the first couple of trailers I didn't hit me well, but then I watched. Then they released a new one. I was like, oh, I love it. So yeah, can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, and video games adaptations, they doing great so far. Hopefully, we get more.
Yeah, it's been quite a year for them with the Last of Us and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess it started with Sonic, right? Sonic was huge. I mean,
Yeah,
that was a
Sonic
couple years
became
ago.
Pikachu. Detective Pikachu was a huge hit. Sonic was a huge one. Yeah, Sonic 1 and 2, and The Last of Us became huge in Twisted Metal, stuff like that. So the next couple years is gonna have great video game adaptation. So it's gonna be great to see it eventually.
Antonio says Kevin James is cleaning up bad information from the media. That's why he's talking. Yeah, absolutely.
You see, this is like, yeah, social media for whatever. Like, bro, like I guess keep asking James Gunn the same question. Like, how many times you gonna ask James Gunn the same question about his universe?
Yeah. Yeah, everything will be revealed in time. He said the best thing he said was it's okay for people to be confused. Like I think
Yeah,
that's right.
we
It's like
haven't seen anything. Like, how are you confused if we haven't seen anything in Star Wars Superman Legacy? Well, no, I said start with Christian Commanders, then Superman Legacy. So, like,
yeah, if you watch it and you come away afterwards and are still confused, then it's a problem in storytelling.
yeah, it's a problem. Yeah, in storytelling, then it's a problem. Yeah, for sure. But like, come on, like just wait and see these couple movies and stuff.
RJ asked when I'm going to watch One Piece. I've seen the first episode. I thought it was okay. I didn't go nuts for it, but I thought it was good. It's basically like what if Plastic Man was a pirate? It's like Plastic Man
I
becomes
mean,
a
I
pirate.
know I haven't watched One Piece. I heard great things. I know what's Jeremy, I forgot the girl name from Halloween.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes, I know she want to play a character from the show for season 2. So
Oh,
she's a big fan of that show. So in animated anime show. So yeah, and it's doing great numbers for Netflix. Like the good thing about the strike, the writer strike is like they gonna show these writers the viewership of the show. If it's not doing good, then it's gonna get canceled. So you can if so that's gonna be great. Now I think RJ has another question. That who do you think should be the villain of Superman Legacy?
I don't see that one. Where is it?
So
Here it is. It's up a little bit.
I think
Uh,
my bet will be I would love Brainiac because we haven't seen everybody want to see Brainiac. Like Superman 3 was supposed to be about Brainiac, right?
yeah, Superman 3 was going to be Brainiac and Mixius Pitalik.
Yeah, that would have been two great villains for that movie.
And it was going to be Dudley Moore. They were talking to Dudley Moore to be Mixius Pitalik. I'm not sure who they wanted for Brainiac, but Dudley Moore that could have been a lot of fun.
It could have been instead with Superman 3. I mean, Superman 3 is a fine movie, but like, come on, that would have been dope villains to see.
I would love to see Brainiac, and who I think would make a great Brainiac? I'd love to see Chiwetel Ejiofor play Brainiac.
Ooh, interesting cast.
He was I love Firefly. I'm a huge Firefly fan, and he played the villain in the Firefly movie Serenity, and he was so cold and so calculating, and I'm like, ooh, he's very like just the way he played it was so cold. I'm like, he'd be great as Brainiac because like to play like an android or a computer, I think he could bring that.
Yeah, that's one thing. Brainiac, I like Brainiac. He was great in Krypton. I wish that show got an extra season. Sci-Fi canceled it because the budget was expensive, but it was whatever. I hate you, Sci-Fi, for that. But it's like, I mean, Parasite's a good one. I like that one. Livewire, I think that's his character. That would be a great one as well. I do not want to see Zod again. Love Zod. He was great. I just don't want to see him again. You could mention him and stuff like that. Oh yeah, Superman already defeat him. Blah blah blah. Oh, he's trapped in he's trapped in the Phantom Zone. You could say that. Whatever James gonna want to go with.
I also hope that they don't. I love the animated series. I love Superman the
Yeah,
animated series, but
I would love if they, man, if James Gunn somehow bring that theme song into live action, that would be great. Because X-Men '97 is we already hearing it in live action for these Marvels movies. Why you not bring back that animated theme song for Superman, for Superman Legacy? That would be great.
I'll tell you
'Cause-
what I do hope they don't do though is as much as I love the animated series, I never liked turning Brainiac into a Kryptonian computer because I
Ah,
always thought it made Superman's world or the DC world a little too small. Like, why does everything have to come from? I mean, you got Zod is from Krypton, and now we're gonna have Brainiac is from Krypton. I mean, it makes the universe feel bigger if these people come from other places other than Krypton. It's like when everyone's coming from Krypton, you're like, well, geez, this is a pretty tiny universe.
Mr. Tiny, yes. Oh, yeah, he's from Krypton. Like, yeah, but I feel like I hope James Gunn. I mean, James Gunn could do that and could make an interesting spin to it. But I mean, he could go from a different route with it.
CJH says they should do the Batman universe, then do a Superman universe and tie them together. And that
No,
could work.
is a Maverick's contract, bro. He does not want to be a
Yeah.
part of the. He does
I mean,
not want to be a part of a shared universe whatsoever. Can you get Robert? Can you convince Robert Pattinson to cross over? Maybe, but
I
then
think
again,
so.
that we already getting. You could convince Robert Pattinson the same thing that Warner Brothers convinced Christian Bale, but he said nope, I'm not doing it without Christopher Nolan. But
Yeah.
they could convince him, but at the same time, does he does Robert Pattinson wants to do that? You know.
And RJ says they should adopt the visual look of Metropolis from the animated series. I agree.
Oh, I agree
Yeah.
100%. I love that version of Metropolis and stuff like that. And it's great. Same. Also Superman. I mean, Blue Beetle already give us a little bit tease because you got the Lex Luthor Enterprise there and stuff like that, and then you see Ace Chemical and stuff. So it already give us a little bit of tease of the universe.
I loved the look of the city skyline in Blue Beetle.
Oh my God,
I
it was gorgeous. I
I
was
don't
like,
know.
man,
Was
I'm
that
very-
CGI? Was that like a CGI skyline, or was that a real city? Because it was beautiful.
I have no clue how if somebody on social media could ask the director on that because he's there once and sometimes that would be great because because all the stuff that we see from Blue Beetle, the fight scenes, he says it's practical effects and stuff like that mixed with a little bit of CG. So you know, Blue Beetle to me Blue Beetle is the best DC movie of this year in my opinion. And then and then that'll be after the Flash is second and Shazam is third. Aquaman might take that spot. We'll see in December. So yeah, I have no I'm happy that Zolo is coming back as Blue Beetle.
Oh
That's
yeah, me
like
too.
you cannot like you would have been stupid to recast him. You would have been dumb. You will not find another better actor him as Blue Beetle. You will not.
And I'll
He's
tell you to clarify CGH here. CGH says Blue Beetle should be canon too.
it is.
James Gunn says nothing's canon except for Creatures and Legacy.
Well,
I don't actually think that's what he said because he said some things are going to be the same. I think he's trying not to confuse people. But basically, I think he's going to pull whatever canon he wants to pull. So if he wants something from Blue Beetle in his universe, he can do that.
I will say this: the best I could say is like look at them see Daredevil, the Netflix show. The people think it's the same Daredevil, but Marvel could pick and choose what they want for their for that version of the character. Same, that's what James Gunn is doing. What's he gonna do with Blue Beetle? He's gonna keep the actor. He's gonna keep a little bit of stuff from that universe and put it into his. That's what he's
Yeah.
doing. That's the same thing that Marvel's doing with Daredevil, and same with Kingpin, and maybe Jessica Jones when we see her, maybe Luke Cage eventually. So that's what they're gonna. That's what James Gunn is doing. It's like, okay, it's gonna be we're gonna pick some stuff from the Blue Beetle movie and put it in our universe. So yeah, though that's what James Gunn is saying, which makes
Yeah.
sense.
I'll tell you this: the tease at the end of Blue Beetle, and I don't want to give away what it was in case anyone here, because the movie
I
did
mean,
very
the
low numbers.
movie already released in VOD.
Yeah, But
I mean,
I don't want to spoil it until everyone's had a chance to see it. But that teaser, as a longtime Blue Beetle fan, as a Blue Beetle fan going back to the 80s, I want to follow up on that. I really want to follow up on
you
that.
got the booster. You have the Booster Go TV show. Come on, you had to do a tie-in with that.
I do think I think that's where we're next going to see Zolo. I think he's going to show up in the Blue Beetle show.
Same as Ted Core's daughter, Jenny. Yeah, you're gonna see her as well in there as well because that's her father.
Let me hang on a second. Oh geez, I have okay, hide. There we go. My invite button was blocked. I had a pop-up blocking my invite button.
Oh, that's
I
tough.
want to I think RJ, send me a like a DM on Twitter. Send me a DM on Twitter. I was going to send you the link, but I can't find it. RJ says, "Did Perp get lost on the way to the stream?"
I have no
Apparently,
clue. I think he definitely got lost somehow.
let me text him. I'm just going to say, what the heck happened?
Yeah, he definitely got lost. CJ, that is the picture you see in the wall. That does look like Jason. You know that, right, Joe?
What's that?
The picture you see about Ted Core in the picture in the Blue Beetle, that looked like Jason Sinek. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does.
And also the director came out and said, "Yeah, I will cast him ASAP if I get the chance to." So, and also the voice, the voice sounds so like I don't know if it's, they never mentioned who was the actor, but I know the director want Jason to be Ted Core, the Ted Core of the universe. So I don't know. It's just.
Oh, hang on a second. I'm sending RJ the link. And CJH says RJ was blocked from MME. Well, he's not blocked from Crazy Joe's concession stand.
It's not blocked.
If Max doesn't want him on MME, then he can Max has the ability to delete the stream after the fact. But you know what? Max was talking to him in the chat. I don't think Max is going to have a problem with it. So I'm making an executive decision. I'm sending the link, and if Max after the fact wants to delete the stream, that's up to him. But I honestly don't think he will. I don't think Max has a problem with him.
It is what it is.
Perp's having technical difficulties. He said he's not going to be able to make it because he's some kind of tech issues. And welcome to the party, RJ.
Hello. How's everyone doing?
RJ, I want to take a moment and say here on stream, I've been a little harsh on you lately, and I want to apologize. The reason is because of that comment that you made about, and I think you've addressed this on Matt's streams, but when you came out and were giving reviews of The Flash, and then you came out and said you hadn't seen it, I thought it really hurt your credibility.
Well, no, like I said, like that whole thing, I apologize for. It was, let's be clear with that. I've told the story before. It was meant to be a troll for just a specific reason, and then it blew up, and then it got featured during the NBA Finals, and I'm just like, oh god. Like as soon as that happened, I'm like, okay, no, like that's not okay. Like I had to be honest with that because I was just like, it's gonna eat at me if I don't say anything, because it wasn't meant to blow up the way it did. It just did. So that's just something I just have to be more careful about in the future because that it was not very wise of me, and I've talked about that.
Well, I want to apologize for some of the things I've said about you, but I've been a little harsh on you because I thought
it's perfectly okay. I understand. I mean, like the thing I've learned the past month is sometimes you just gotta let bygones be bygones and not get too in your head about things and just let things be because life's too short, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, people have like legitimately passed away recently. It's like, is it really worth all this? You know, this is kind of one of those things.
Underhaven says the fact that you felt guilt over lying is why you'll never be a scooper.
Wow.
I mean, that's partially true. Yes. I mean, that's partially true. Yes. I mean, Yeah, I'm also not a very good liar either, which is also part of the problem too. I'm not very good at lying.
When I was watching the NBA Finals, like I did saw that ad, I was like, "Oh, interesting." But that's what Warner Bros. Does. They always pick and choose people, and they just put it, and they just don't tell them. They just put it.
Well, that was the funny thing though with that whole thing. I've talked about this too. It's something that I think studios got to get better at because legitimately, they'll send you a link right to where you can agree.
Yep, on Twitter. Yep,
where you can agree to have your review or your little blurb or your tweet be part of their marketing, right? And like they don't clarify anything like in the legal statement. They just say we basically own the right to broadcast this and use this however we want to, which is fine. But I feel like the vetting process for studios has to be better when it comes to that because it's just how they let that happen. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I don't think they care because at the end of the day, it's positive publicity anyway. But still, they got to be, I don't know. They should vet that a bit better in the future.
Did it all that color, and then I painted the bottom.
Oh,
hang on. I'm sorry. Give me just a minute. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a second. My daughter's showing me something. I'll
you're
be right
fine.
back.
You're fine. It's all good.
Me and yourself, Joe. No, but it's man. People hating on James Gunn on Twitter. I just like, oh my god, I see every day.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the hate gets overblown personally. I mean, there are legitimate things to be confused or concerned about. I mean, I've said this many times. I don't like personally speaking, if I'm like just talking, giving my opinion, I don't want to see Gal Gadot return. Not because I don't like Gal or anything, just more so I don't understand how you can have a new Superman and a new Batman sitting next to Gal. It just, I feel like that's like a jump the shark kind of thing. You're going too far, you know? It's one thing to keep side characters or characters that like
True.
B characters, right? But if you keep an A-lister, it's just, I don't know.
Look, you're already getting some more actors to play these characters. Like B-listers. I guess, I mean, yeah, you could call the Superman actor a B-lister. He's not well known out there.
No. I'm not talking about like the actors being B. I'm talking about the characters themselves. Like you can keep a Peacemaker or a Blue Beetle, right? Because those are like B and C tier characters. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
You keep Wonder Woman around. That's a pretty big person.
Yeah.
You know, and I've always maintained the fact that I think, you know, we talk about credibility. It's like you kind of may potentially lose credibility with the audiences. Just be like,
yeah,
you could be jumping the shark too much. I said that for the entire Justice League cast. The only one I truly think, and I've maintained this, I only think Jason Momoa is going to stick around because I think that when you talk to James Gunn, it's like, we want you around, just not as Aquaman. Because I think Jason's the kind of guy is that even if he wants to do an Aquaman trilogy, they tell him, hey, you're going to be Lobo. He's going to be in a bunch of movies, and you're going to get a Max series down the line. And you're going to be part of this 10-year plan. Yeah, I would not sign up for that.
When Jason got cast as Aquaman, he thought Zack Snyder cast him as Lobo at first. And he's like, no. Zack was like, no, we want you as Aquaman. I think he will be perfectly cast.
I kind of feel like they need Momoa as Aquaman, though. And the reason I say that is because Aquaman, for so many years, Aquaman was a joke. And it was, Aquaman, you can't make an Aquaman movie. The guy just talks to fish. Like, I mean, the public laughed at Aquaman. And the fact that Jason Momoa came in and was able to turn Aquaman into $1 billion hit, I think that's a dangerous one to recast because you really stand the risk of undoing what he did, basically, and turning the character back into a joke with the public.
Yeah. I mean, that's the tricky one too, because when Zack Snyder cast Jason in the first place, the idea was to try and redefine what Aquaman even looked like visually. He wasn't, blonde hair, blue-eyed white guy. They made him a Polynesian. They tried to make it like at least him be more ethnically from that culture.
Yeah,
I personally, I feel like they should have gone all the way and kind of made a lot of the Atlanteans like part of the Polynesian culture. I think that could have been very interesting. So the question that you have to ask is that if they recast Aquaman, like, do they go back and like go and make a traditional looking Aquaman who's more like the comic book version? Do they recast the Polynesian actor and go kind of like try and get someone who kind of can be a Jason Momoa fill-in? I don't know.
The thing with Aquaman is like, even Zach says like, yeah, Aquaman was a joke, and everybody was making fun of him all these years because that's what Aquaman is. He was a joke, but the Aquaman changed the character in the public eye that he's just the character now. It's just like getting another actor who's probably going to be 25 to 30 years old playing Aquaman. I mean, it's just going to be weird. It's definitely going to be weird. I was like, I just can't see it.
Well, and that's the thing, because I'm thinking about it now. Actually, I think the easiest character to recast would probably be Flash, because you can just say Barry Allen got lost in the Speed Force. Here's Wally West.
Well, the speed you could like the. I mean, no, actually, no, that was us. Well, yeah, the Speed Force.
There's so many. There's so many interpretations of Flash and so many like different people who've inherited that mantle. It's not really a big deal.
But also, like, which Flash?
I could see them going with Wally first instead of Barry.
Which Flash you want to go? You could say that Barry Allen died doing quote unquote a mission. Like, it just depends. I think Wally should be the Flash.
Let me throw a real wild idea at you. What if it comes out that Amanda Waller had Barry killed because she finds out that he changed the timeline and therefore he's a danger?
That.
I mean, potentially, yeah. I mean, I think the Waller series, because they've kind of already said, hold on, I gotta clear my throat for a second. They've already kind of said that the Waller series is sort of like Peacemaker season 1.5, and it's also technically like the continuation of the Suicide Squad. So I think they've kind of hinted that it might be setting up like the Secret Six, maybe. Yeah, because I don't see them dropping like the plot line left at the end of Peacemaker, where like the Task Force has been exposed to the government. Amanda Waller's kind of in trouble a bit because of her daughter. I don't think they're dropping that.
No, they're not dropping.
Because I can see them kind of just saying like, "Hey, the Suicide Squad was a reboot." That was like basically just picking up that kind of. Because like people were saying like, well, how can you keep these characters? And I said in the chat earlier, it's just like, well, they kept J.K. Simmons and Charlie Cox and Vince D'Onofrio, but they're not the exact same versions from before. There's little
and then like
because some of the things with Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin was the same, but not all of it.
And John Burrow as well. I forgot he's coming back. So yeah, same as well.
It's the same thing with Judi Dench in GoldenEye, or was it GoldenEye? No, Casino Royale.
Casino Royale,
yeah, like they rebooted all of James Bond, but they kept her, and nobody blinked an eye. It's
well, the thing is that the nerds care more about. Because let's be fair, like the nerds here care more about the continuity of the canon than the actual audience does. The audience just wants a good movie. They don't care if it's the same actor or not. They really are like. There are still people out there who think that like Batman exists in the same world as Spider-Man. Okay, those people still exist. They don't know any better, right? They don't know the difference between a Marvel and a DC movie. Those people still exist.
When I saw the Batman last year, people thought it was a younger version of Ben Affleck. A lot of people. People thought I went to theater and people was like, "Is this a younger version of?" Ben Affleck. I said, "Hey, it looks." I say, he could have been. He could have.
Well, when the Joker movie came out, people are all like, "Oh, this must be like Jared Leto, young Jared Leto." I'm just like, no.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna. I mean, hey, we enjoyed the movie. I guess it don't really matter.
I'll never forget the summer of 2005. I was sitting in Batman Begins, and there was a young couple sitting in front of me. And when Joe Chill was in the courthouse, the guy whispered to his girlfriend, "That's the Joker. The Joker was the one that killed his parents." And I'm like, this guy thinks he's in a prequel. He doesn't realize this is a reboot. He thinks he's sitting in a prequel to the Michael Keaton movie.
Or he thinks that they're keeping the same storyline because that's what he's familiar with. That's what he knows.
And that's the thing. The average person doesn't care. They go in, they watch the movie, they come out, they go, was it a good movie? They're not getting caught up in the minutia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, where like people are all like, well, because I got into an argument on Twitter with somebody being like, well, how can they keep Xolo as Blue Beetle? His movie didn't make any money. Like the audience doesn't care who he is or know who he is. I'm like, exactly, because like think of it from this perspective. Because most people probably didn't see Blue Beetle, which is a shame. They're gonna be like, whenever he shows up, it's gonna be basically he's a new character to them. It doesn't.
Yeah, he's a variant.
He's basically gonna, like, no matter what we look at it, he's gonna be a brand new character in the eyes of most people. Because if you didn't see Blue Beetle, he's a new character to you, and if you did see Blue Beetle, it's just you're seeing him again, but he might be just a little different. It might be a little different story.
I mean, I still think we could get a Blue Beetle too. I keep saying, even though the
I would
first
say,
one bombed,
I would say to a Max series,
HBO series. Yeah, I hate
or make it. I mean, I know Zazzle doesn't like streaming movies, but maybe go to that. I mean,
but
I
think he'll probably be a supporting
character.
Yeah, I think you introduce him elsewhere. You make him a supporting character somewhere else, and people see him and people like him. Then they go back and check out the first movie on Max. I mean, these things, and that's not without precedent. We've seen stuff like that before, where the Hulk. I mean, granted, it was a different actor, but Ed Norton's Hulk. It wasn't that well received. I mean, it wasn't a failure, but nobody was clamoring for Hulk 2 until Avengers came out and they saw how awesome Ruffalo was. And then they were suddenly like, "Oh, we need a Hulk."
Oh
2.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because Hulk, for a lot of people forgot, because back then when 2012 the first Avengers happened, Hulk was kind of like in a downward spiral a little bit in the eyes of most of the audience.
Down.
So when the Avengers came out, everyone saw how awesome the Hulk scenes were, because Hulk was kind of the star of that movie action wise. Like, he had some of the best action moments, some of the best character moments. People were all like, "We need another Hulk movie." We never got another Hulk movie.
I agree with
the hype for that character was like an all-time high for Hulk.
Yeah.
So
I agree with Underhaven. Yeah, people thought that Incredible Hulk was a sequel to Eric Bana Hulk. Yep, that's as well.
Well, it kind of was in a way.
It was in a way too, because they continued some plot from that movie. So,
which is still weird. Like, it was kind of a reboot, but it still kept, it kind of picked up where the last movie ended, right? Or him in South America. So it's I don't know. They did some weird stuff with the Hulk stuff in the MCU, which I didn't mind. I'm just saying that's kind of an example of how
is the universal hate and love, because they don't want the character. They don't just give up on the rights. You're not gonna make a Hulk movie because the last one fell at the box office. Well, underflop. Well, under whatever you call it. It didn't make money. So just give up the rights. Just give it up. Just give up.
Yeah.
You're not gonna use
I mean, because here's the thing with the whole DC thing too. There's definitely some pressure. I feel like there's definitely a lot of pressure on this, and I don't know how it's gonna go, because this year has just been so weird for the box office in general. It's been so weird, especially for DC. It's not. I don't blame James Gunn completely for this year's movies not working out financially. I mean, it's not. I think that it's mostly the shareholders' fault. I think it's David Zaslav's fault a little bit, because I think they probably should have waited to announce the reboot, maybe. But he was put in a position where he couldn't, because he had to please shareholders. So it's it's a double-edged sword.
I don't doubt for a second. And the reason I don't doubt it is because people are telling you. I keep saying, if you go to Facebook, every time a new movie opens, ads pop up from Fandango or, buy your ticket now, such and such just opened. If you read the comments under these movies, people are telling you. I remember when Shazam was coming out. I remember when Flash was coming out. I kept reading people saying, I'm not going to see it because it doesn't count. They're rebooting. So I know that was a factor, because I'm seeing people legitimately say that was a factor.
Yeah, they're all like, why should I watch this? I'll just wait for the new stuff.
But I will never understand that. I will never understand that train of thought, because these movies tell a complete story, start, finish, and end. It's not like it's any less of a movie just because it's not going to continue. And I remember in an era not too long ago, you went to a movie, your sequel was not guaranteed. There was no guarantee you were getting. You just went and you saw a movie, and if it worked, you might get a sequel. But then
that's the Marvel effect, though, because for better or for worse, they've kind of Marvel's trained people to be okay, everything counts, everything's building to something. If it doesn't count, it doesn't matter, it's not building to something, what's the point? Right? That's just the way the audience has been trained for the past 10, 15 years with these movies, right? And that's something that they kind of have to work on in terms of breaking that habit of, or trying to rectify that in the future.
And that's the one thing that makes me think maybe Martin Scorsese has a point. Because if we're training audiences to think everything has to be connected and you can't just have a standalone story, then we're kind of killing cinema. I don't agree with most of what he says about the Marvel movies and everything, but that aspect of it, we got to get people to take things movie by movie and appreciate each thing for what it is, and not try to say, well, if it isn't part of this comprehensive whole, I'm out.
Then that's like the same thing happened. Like, okay, so you watched the Batman, you watched the Joker, you didn't complain that those two was not connected. So you even James Gunn say on threads, whatever you want to call that app, like, yeah, I mean, we're gonna make standalone movies, but we're gonna connect it down the line. So, like, I understand, like, we're gonna connect it down the line. We're gonna build up to a Justice League movie eventually. So I understand. It's just people have to relax, just wait and see the plan is. Now, if Superman Legacy somehow underperform at the box office, then I guess the DC. Then I guess the audience does come in.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's going to underperform anyway.
I don't think either. I just hope it doesn't.
No, because like even if like let's say it only makes, God forbid, it only makes like $400 million worldwide, I think the movie's going to be budgeted responsibly to where it doesn't need to make that much money to be successful. My whole thing is like if I was sitting down with those like a financial leader at Warner Brothers Discovery, and I was sitting down in the meeting with James Gunn and David Zaslav, I would be like, our goal is to make Superman Legacy basically the 2025 version of Batman Begins. Probably doesn't make a lot of money, but it's profitable enough to where we can justify continuing this, and it's critically and it's well received by critics and audiences to the point where they actually care about this new version of Superman, and we can move forward. So when we do make a sequel and we do make more in this universe, they actually gonna be like, oh, this is actually quality. We can come back to this and have faith that we're gonna get a good movie or a good show out of this.
I mean,
that's the approach I would take. We're just like, no, going into it, you may not make a lot of money, but just go into it being like, make the money we can, but most importantly, make a really good movie to win back the audience.
I do think that the fact that it's a year and a half away, and we're going to have a year and a half with like well, except for the Joker, no DC movies. I think that helps it a lot. I think it helps put distance, but I almost wish that Joker movie wasn't coming out, and I'm looking forward to that movie. I want to see that movie.
I thought my impression was that Todd Phillips was gonna develop another villain for DC, another DC villain for the Warner Brothers instead of doing a Joker sequel. But that's what happened when you pay Joaquin Phoenix, what, $20 million that he's getting from the sequel?
I've said too, like I've also said that maybe they should consider not even launching this thing until 2026. And what I would do is just have 2024 next year be Joker 2, nothing connected. Don't launch Creature Commandos till 2025, and then in 2026 Superman Legacy comes out. Because I think the further you get out from it, the better. I mean, I want to see this stuff as soon as possible, but the more breaks you have, the audience will kind of maybe miss DC a little bit more. You kind of build that anticipation where you kind of get away from everything. Because I'll be honest, like I'm not trying to like be negative Nancy over here, but it's just like I don't see Aquaman 2 making $1 billion. I don't see it. If it's lucky, I see it clearing maybe 500 million. Honestly,
I think it's easily going to be the highest grossing DC movie this year.
For sure. Yeah. It's going to make the most out of any of the DC movies released this year, but I still don't think it's going to make that much.
Bro, they just announced the Beyonce movie. So,
well, that's what I'm talking about, though, right? With the box
like, come
office.
on, like,
well, that's what I mean, though. Like, the box office is in such a weird place right now, anyway. Like, the sure bets have kind of like not done well, but then you have some like the Taylor Swift movie coming out next month, which is going to like break all the records because it's an event that people can't get at home. You have to go to a theater and see it.
It's going to make the same amount as a Marvel movie.
Which is crazy.
What is the Beyonce movie? Is it like a biography?
It's a concert movie like the Taylor
Swift. She's doing the Taylor Swift thing. Okay.
Yeah,
it makes sense because Taylor Swift's making like all the money with that. So
yeah, well, she's getting 50. Beyonce's getting 50% of the box office for that movie. So and it's coming on December 1. That's a lot of money. Goddamn, good job, Beyonce. You definitely got.
That's what I'm saying though. Just like we're in a weird period with like the theaters and the box office too. We're just like, I guess I don't know. It kind of feels like people are just like in like a mode where just like they kind of are bored of stuff a bit. Where they're just like, I'll catch it on streaming. You know,
yeah,
like something really special.
I honestly think we're watching the after effects of the 45-day streaming window, which all the studios are kind of doing away with now. Warner and Disney are going back to longer windows, but it's going to take the audience a little longer to catch on, I think. And I think that they took away the urgency to go to the theater. And we saw it with Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones did killer business on VOD.
Well, the scary thing is that even for some movies where they don't drop it on streaming in 45 days and PVOD in 45 days, people still are like, nah, I'll wait longer then. I don't care.
They just announced,
because I guarantee that's what happened with Blue Beetle. Even though Blue Beetle stayed in theaters as long as it could, I guarantee there were still some people being like, this is not a theater movie to me. I'll just wait. I don't care how long I have to wait. I'll wait. Which that's scary. That's scary to me.
I didn't want to see Blue Beetle in theaters. I went to see Bobby like 2 times. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, I caught Blue Beetle in theaters, and I'm glad I did. I really loved that movie. It deserved to make a lot more, but I was very sad because when I went to go see it, I was alone in the theater. There's nobody else in there.
Yeah. Oh, I walked in the other night. I went to see
Saul's X.
I think I'm gonna have to end this stream pretty soon. I'm keeping an eye. It looks like. Anyway, I'm keeping an eye on my wife's going to be home soon, and she's going to need help putting away groceries. So I'm watching where she is on my mobile app. Oh, actually, she's calling me. Hang on a second. I'm going to go on mute.
For sure, but I mean, these budgets. I mean, it's hard to make a superhero movie. Well, it's easy to make a superhero movie with $100 million if you know what superhero movie it is.
Well, they just made that Creator movie with all those special effects for $80 million.
Yeah.
So
and that's a Disney movie.
Well, it's a Fox. Yeah, it's a Fox movie. Yeah. So I mean,
a Fox movie. Yeah, like come on.
Well, that's just the thing. They gotta but they had to budget things more responsibly moving forward. You know, you could make a really good looking movie for under $100 million. You just have to allocate your budget correctly.
Yeah, you gotta film more on cities. You gotta do a lot of practical effects. That's what Blue Beetle budget is $104 million. Because they did a lot of practical / CG.
Well, a lot of the budget too. The issue why budgets are really large sometimes is because oftentimes it's for actors' pay. Which listen, actors deserve to get paid. No, nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying sometimes it's you get all these really big name actors and they cost $20 to $30 million a pop. And there's 10 of those, and then it's oh god, your budget, right? It's just sometimes do you maybe take a chance on an actor that doesn't need that big of a payday, do some smaller actors, or some character actors, it can work, so just kind of depends on what you do with that,
Yeah, I mean, the actors, also actors pay. Yeah, I think probably the most expensive cast in Superman Legacy is probably Rachel. That's it.
That's the thing. With the Superman Legacy cast, who's the big name? Who's the big name?
I think
nobody really.
Conduit is getting paid the same amount as Henry Cavill got paid for Man of Steel. I think $500,000.
Yeah. Well, I don't think any of the actors so far cast Superman Legacy are big name pay.
No.
Big pay. Maybe Rachel Brosnahan because she's won a bunch of awards, but even then, I wouldn't say she'd probably cost that much.
No,
they're probably gonna have at least one big name actor, but I don't think majority of that cast. I don't think are gonna be, people who need big paychecks.
I think the villain should be a big name. The villain should be a big name, and that's it. Other than that, you fine with it. Same every person that cast the Superman Legacy except for Nathan. Why will you make it? Why make come on, James? That's your best friends. Come on. Even Twitter when he got cast, it's really again? You couldn't find another better. I thought he was casted as Hal Jordan, but no, he's playing Guy Gardner, which is come on. He's a great voice as Hal Jordan.
Yeah, but I get it though. They probably want
a 30-year-old to play Hal Jordan. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, someone who's gonna be around for a while longer, and
you gotta get a 30-year-old for Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
I know. The guy who did Watchmen and Demneloff. Yeah, Demneloff is doing that, and I forgot Tom King. Yeah, Tom King.
Yeah, I think Tom King's writing that, and I think he's writing that in the Supergirl thing. So
Supergirl as well. Which I mean, a comic book writer writing a movie that's with no experience doing live action script, that's a little bit worrying. But other than that, I think he could pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, it's some of that stuff is just kind of going to be like,
I mean, Robert Pattinson did talk. Yeah, he did talk less, but I think I forgot the guy from 21 Jump Street. That was gonna be the Penguin. I forgot his name.
Yeah,
Channing Tatum.
No, the other one.
Oh, Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. Yeah, he was asking a lot of money to be the Penguin, and it's like, no, you want to make more money than Robert Pattinson? No.
Yeah, you're not doing that.
He's not doing that. So, yeah. I mean, the more actors you get, less the same. But also actors have back end deals. So even if you take less money from the first movie, you get more money when you do the second or third movie. So
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's just like things right now. Just like I feel like actors deserve to get paid, but like sometimes you don't need to go for the big names. That kind of helps your budgets down. But I'm not a financing guy. I don't know how film budgets are even allocated or how that what's decided upon. But like, if you can make a movie like The Creator for $80 million, I don't see even if Superman Legacy budget's like $125 million. I think that's okay. Like I'm not that could probably be fine. I don't know though. I mean, I think that the good thing is that Creature Commandos is next year, so animation's kind of been killing it lately. So if that pops off the way it needs to, that could be like a nice palate cleanser.
I think we got a trailer for that next to Aquaman.
Yep.
I think we have to
like in December.
Yeah, I think we have to because it's coming out next year. He said the first quarter of next.
I would probably wait until after Aquaman comes out to drop.
Or maybe I mean he can release whatever he wants, but I will. Or maybe like show us pictures of the animation. Like we only saw one show, and that's it.
Well, that's the other issue too. Is that I think they probably would have announced more stuff and shown more stuff potentially, or at least dropped little nuggets of information. But then the strikes happen, so everything's kind of like on a backlog, and they're trying to figure things out. Same thing with Marvel. I mean, my God, they were shooting Deadpool 3, and that got shut down for how long's it been? 5-6 months?
Oh, so, Beetlejuice 2? Beetlejuice 2 only had a couple more scenes to shoot. They were two scenes away from completion.
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing about Beetlejuice 2 is that they not in a bad way, but they really put the pedal to the metal to film that movie because they knew the strike was coming. It's we gotta hurry, So some of those studios knew that stuff was coming up, so just film as much as you can.
Well, I'm gonna have to wrap things up soon because things are happening around here. So that means I should play this. It's almost the end of the show. I did notice Senior Nerd was asking what RJ's doing on an MMA stream.
This is Joe podcast.
Which tells me that Senior Nerd is not subscribed to Crazy Joe's Concession Stand.
I thought this was a Crazy Joe show. I have no clue where else.
No, this is a crazy. Yeah, this is Joe's show. He's live streaming it on his channel and Mac's channels. Yeah.
Okay.
And with all respect to MME and Max, I love Max. I love MME, and I appreciate that I have the ability to simulstream. But if you are watching on MME, I would really appreciate it if you could watch on my channel because I'm not too far away from meeting the quota or for monetizing. And what I need is public view hours. I'm only a few, I'm about 1,000 away. So every little bit of view on my channel actually helps me reach that level of monetization, which I'm so close to. So if you want to watch on my channel, it helps me out. So there you go. And I made a handy little playlist on the Crazy Joe's Concession Stand channel called the Everything Playlist. So you can open up your laptop in the morning, start playing the playlist, mute your computer, walk around, do whatever you want to do, and you're helping me get view hours.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I do
supporting creators. You can go watch William, who's live right now, doing a Howard the Duck watch party. Apparently.
Oh my God!
Oh really?
My God! Oh, Howard the Duck. Oh my God, that character.
What's going on? Is that on Poindexter Lounge?
I think it's on William's channel.
William's channel.
Oh,
He's
okay.
what? Yeah, William.
I was going to say
the Sci-Fi Center.
What is happening with Enosh? Didn't he announce he was coming back and then he didn't come back?
No, he says
he's
soon.
coming back when he's ready to. That's all I know.
I thought I saw on Facebook where he said like I'm going to come back to streaming, and then it didn't happen.
Yeah, he's extremely busy.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll happen. It's just I don't know. It's like George R.R. Martin. The dragons are coming. Just wait.
Well, eventually, when he's ready to release those Game of Thrones scripts, which he would never.
Well, Enosh, he was going to do that Ahsoka watch party, but then he had to cancel at the last minute. So he was like this close to coming back. We were right on the edge. But...
Yes, he was this close, a little bit inch, but something happened.
I'll tell you, I love Enosh. I think he's a great guy, but I've stopped trying to reach out to him because he never gets back to me. Anytime I send him a message, I even sent him. I gave Ray Porter his phone number. Like I was at a con and Ray Porter said, I don't know how to reach Enosh. Normally I'm not one to just give out someone's number. I won't do that. But I'm like, I don't think Enosh is going to mind if I give it to Ray Porter. So I gave it to Ray Porter and then I texted him and said, hey man, I gave Ray Porter your number. I hope you don't mind. Crickets. He doesn't respond. So I'm like, all right, he knows how to reach me.
Yeah, no, he's a busy. I don't even know if he checks his phone anymore. He's just that busy. I don't know.
Busy.
He gets in contact with you when he can, I guess.
Yeah. So he was on. He was on. I think on. What was it? On the podcast with he was in the comments last night on Mac's channel. So.
Yeah, he pops in when he can.
Yeah, when he pops in. Still wondering.
Antonis says he wonders who the new Batman's going to be for Andy Muschietti. I know I'm playing the favorite here because it's like the cool fanboy thing to say, but I would like to see Jensen Ackles. I would really enjoy that.
He's already doing the voice for Batman, bro. And James Gunn already said, well, the people who doing the voice for playing live action characters, animation, and video games, which I don't know how you're gonna make video games. The video games are way too expensive. I don't think Warner Bros. Have the budget for it, but if they do, good luck. Then I get Jason. He's a very good actor. He already proved it in The Boys with Soldier Boy.
He's a good actor. He's a good actor. People like him. And talking about budgets, he's not a big name movie star. So you'll probably get him to a contract at a very reasonable price.
Yeah, because
I've seen the name Josh Hartnett thrown around. I actually wouldn't mind that either.
Josh Hartnett.
I do not like Josh Hartnett.
Isn't he rumored to be Harvey Dent?
Was he? I don't remember.
There was a rumors of him being Harvey Dent for the Mavericks universe.
That's what it was. I know Josh Hartnett was.
Jake as Batman. I would take that as well. He's been always Warner Brother pick to play Batman, so I will not be surprised.
It's got to be an actor that will be willing to stick around for 10 to 15 years worth of movies and shows and games.
And that's perfect for a guy like Jensen Ackles too, because if you sign him to a multi-picture deal, you could probably get him at an inexpensive rate, and that adds to his box office clout. Because he has none right now. I mean, I couldn't name a single big screen movie I've ever seen.
He's done TV shows so far. Yeah,
but then he essentially becomes a movie star through this. So it works out for everybody, quite frankly.
Yeah, he was amazing as Red Hood. He's amazing as Batman now. Let him to play live. He's even saying on a convention a couple of months ago, that he would love to play Batman. If that ever comes and my agent asks me, I will do it. Yeah. Which, I mean, every agent should tell the actor, there's a new Batman edition. So,
I don't know what this means. What is the Tomorrowverse?
That's the animated. That's the animated movies that they're doing right now.
The animated universe, yeah.
is the animated universe, is it tied together still? Because I watch these movies and they feel very disproportionate.
So some of them are connected. Like so they had, what was the Batman, the Doom that came to Gotham, that's not connected, but stuff like they just released Justice League War World, that's part of a connected continuity. And at the end of that, they're teasing that they're doing, and they just announced this at Comic-Con, they're doing a 2-part Crisis on Infinite Earth movie. Oh, sorry, 3-part Crisis on Infinite
the
Earth
directors
movie.
confirmed 3.
Okay, so yeah, and that's supposedly going to like bring in every animated stuff, like the giant multiverse thing, and probably like reboot it again, I guess. I don't know, or just animated movies altogether.
I don't think you will see Kevin Conroy Batman at all whatsoever. Not talking.
I'll tell you, the DC animated movies have kind of lost me. I thought they were really good early on, but the recent ones, like the
well, ever since the new Justice League Dark stopped, that continuity of DC, and I was like, it's a little bit getting messy here. So
well, I liked the Superman Man of Tomorrow movie.
I love that one. Yeah,
I liked the first one in the Tomorrowverse, and then I never watched any of the other ones. But like, this is me personally. Like, after the Flashpoint movie, I kind of lost interest a bit. I mean, I picked up some occasionally, but like, I don't know. They just like, I never got into like the Batman versus Robin movies or like the Teen Titans movies or like any of them really. I just never watched them. You know, I never really got into that continuity because they did Hush. I watched the Batman Hush movie and I did not like that. I didn't like what they did with the story for that at all. I was very disappointed by it.
My favorite of the animated movies is still one of the very early ones. It's still the New Frontier, based on the Darwin Cook comic.
Yeah, that one's a really good one. There's also Justice League Doom. I really like that one. There's also
Dwayne. What was the one Dwayne McDuffie wrote?
I think Crisis on Two Earths. That one's really
Crisis on Two Earths. Yeah.
I think Dwayne McDuffie also wrote Justice League Doom. I could be wrong.
He did. Yeah.
He did.
Man,
that was really, really good.
God rest his soul, man. I think he would have been great working with James Gunn and his universe, man.
Yeah, my two favorites are Under the Red Hood and The Dark Knight Returns. Those two are the best.
I met him once. I met Dwayne McDuffie once outside Cartoon Network. I had gone to take a trip to Los Angeles, and my friend worked at Cartoon Network, and we were standing outside the Cartoon Network building, just waiting for our friend, and Dwayne McDuffie was standing there, and we're like, oh, that's Dwayne McDuffie. And we walked up, introduced ourselves, super friendly, super personable, a little surprised we recognized him out on the street. Like, I guess people just don't walk up and go, yo, you're Dwayne McDuffie. But yeah, it was heartbreaking to hear he passed.
Yeah.
So. All right, guys, I gotta go on.
What do you think of Marvel announcing the X-Men movies yesterday?
That movie's that they're looking for a writer. Yeah. It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, it's cool to know that they're finally starting to move on that, but like that movie, like the X-Men movies from Marvel are going to be coming out to like another 5 to 6 or 7 years from now, so it really doesn't matter. I mean, cool, you're working on it, but it ain't coming out for a while, you know?
True. I guess it's true. Which X-Men team you want to see in live action show?
Gosh,
there's so many versions of the X-Men.
I personally speaking, as like somebody who grew up with this, I'd like to see like something equivalent to like the 90s cartoon roster, or like maybe something like X-Men Evolution, maybe something different. I mean, you could go for like the classic 60s roster too. I mean, I don't know.
Well, they announced that they're looking for writers and they're meeting with them.
Well, I get what he's saying though. Like Deadline said that they're starting to get writers. Like they're looking for writers. Like they're taking pitches for the movie.
I don't know what type of writers are they gonna get for that movie, but you know,
probably a Rick and Morty writer.
I think that the X-Men. I think they got problems with the X-Men because I'm sure they'll find a way. I have faith in them. They're going to find a way, but. Seeing as there's been no mention of the X-Men prior to now, that creates a challenge because if mutants don't exist yet in the MCU, then that kind of undercuts Charles Xavier and Magneto because they're supposed to be the old guard. I almost feel like they'd be better off, and I know people get like gut reactions when I say this, like, oh no, but you got to remember, it's all about the writing, it's all about the scripts. But I feel like that it would solve a lot of headaches for them if they found a way to do some multiverse timey-wimey thing where the Fox X-Men come into this universe. Because that way,
the young ones.
Yeah. And you can say like, with a time travel, like, well, there's going to be time paradoxes. Not everything's going to line up properly because it was time travel involved. But that way, it allows you to have that history and explain why you have seen your characters there.
What I'm guessing, and I'll just say it because we got to wrap up soon. What I'll say very quick, my guess is that Deadpool 3 will cause some of the Fox characters to enter the MCU, but that leads into Secret Wars, where it'll be like a bunch of amalgamations of stuff of different interpretations, like all of the history of Marvel comes together for Secret Wars, and then that leads into I don't know if it's going to be a hard reboot or a soft reboot, but something's going to happen in the Secret Wars that causes the MCU timeline to be rearranged. So that way you can start that universe with the X-Men having existed for like a long time already. You establish that mutants exist in this world, and you kind of just start not really a new MCU, but kind of like a soft reboot to where you can pick right up and have the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Spider-Man lead the charge going forward. So
I will say, whatever they do, they have to reveal that Ralph Bohner was Quicksilver.
Oh my god!
They have to go back to Ralph Bohner and reveal. Oh no, that was Quicksilver.
I think he's coming back, and I think he's in Agatha show.
No, not Agatha. I think he's going to be in Wonder Man.
Oh, Wonder Man
show.
Yeah. Oh shit! Yeah,
which I forgot that they were making that because of the strikes. But yeah, Wonder Man.
The strike happens. Yeah, they only shot a couple, like 3 or 4 episodes on that. It's like, that show was supposed to be about Hollywood.
All right, everybody. I got to wrap this up. Thanks
Bye,
for coming,
everybody.
Anthony, RJ. Thanks for coming. Perp, thanks for trying to come.
And Max.
Skeepy Max, because he mishyped Sleepy. And maybe the lesson I've learned here is not to try to put 2 streams up at once because it confuses people. The question is James Gunn's universe confusing? No, multiple streams confuses people apparently. So
no, I mean, I guess, yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming, and keep wearing those pajamas.
Peace.
Keep wearing those pajamas
with the plastic feet.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Tell everyone you meet.
Keep wearing those pajamas
with the backdoor flap.
Keep wearing those pajamas.
Don't open it, it's a trap.
Oh no,
it's a trap. Some people call them bitches, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander adamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas.
Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas.
I know we're having fun, song is done.